I'm going to read you another story from the Brothers Grimm, but this collection has been written by Phillip Pullman. This story is a very well-known one called Rumplestiltskin. There was once a poor miller who had a beautiful daughter. One day he happened to fall into conversation with the king, and in order to impress him, he said, "You know, your majesty, I have a daughter who can spin straw into gold." The king said to the miller, "I like the sound of that. If your daughter is as clever as you say, bring her to the castle tomorrow and we'll see what she can do." Well, the girl was brought to him, and he took her to a room that was filled with straw right up to the ceiling. He gave her a spinning wheel and several spools and said, "There you are. Work all day and all night, and if you haven't spun all this straw into gold by tomorrow morning, you'll be put to death." Can I just say that if this were me and I was the girl, I would have gone by now. Just saying, ladies. Then he locked the door and she was left all alone. The poor girl sat there with no idea what to do. Of course, she couldn't spin the straw into gold, and the longer she sat there, the more frightened she became, and finally she began to cry. Then suddenly the door opened and in came a little man. "Good day, Miss Miller, and what are you blubbering for?" "I'm supposed to spin this straw into gold, and I don't know how to do it. And if I don't, they're going to kill me." "Oh, well, what'll you give me if I do it for you?" "My necklace?" "Let's have a look at it." He peered at the necklace and nodded and put it in his pocket, and then he sat down at the spinning wheel. He set to work so fast she could hardly see his hands. Whirr, whirr, whirr went the wheel, and the first spool was full. He put another one on, and whirr, 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 and that one was full too. It went on like that until morning, and then when all the straw was spun and all the spools were filled with gold, the little man left without another word. At sunrise, the king came and unlocked the door. He was pleased to see all that gold, and a bit surprised, too, that the miller's daughter had managed to do it. But it wasn't enough for him, so he took her to another room even larger that was filled with straw like the first. "Spin this all in one night or lose your life," he said, and locked the door. Once again the poor girl began to cry, and once again the door opened and there was the little man. "Oh, what will you give me if I spin all this into gold for you?" The ring from my finger." "Let's have a look at it." He squinted at it and put it in his pocket, and then he began to spin. The wheel went whirr, whirr, whirr all night long, and by morning all the straw was spun into gold. The king was even more delighted, but he still hadn't got enough gold. He took the miller's daughter to an even larger room filled with straw like the others and said, "Spin this into gold, and I'll make you my wife." He was thinking, "She's only a miller's daughter, but I'll never find a richer wife in all the world." Not a very nice man. When the girl was alone, the little man opened the door a third time. "Oh, what will you give me this time?" "Well, I've got nothing left." "Then you've got to promise me that when you're queen, you'll give me your first child." Well, who can tell what'll happen in the future, she thought, and she promised the little man what he asked for. He set to work, and by the morning all the straw had been spun into gold. When the king saw it, he kept his promise, and the miller's lovely daughter became the queen. A year later, she brought a beautiful child into the world. She'd put the little man out of her mind, but all of a sudden, there he was. "Now, you must give me what you promised," he said. "Oh, no, please, anything but that. I'll give you all the wealth in the kingdom." "What would I want that for when I can spin straw into gold?" "I want a living baby, that's what I want." The queen began to cry and weep so much that the little man began to feel sorry for her. "Oh, all right. I'll give you 3 days," he said. "You find out what my name is in 3 days, and you can keep the child." The queen sat up all night, trying to remember every name she'd ever heard. She sent a messenger into town to ask for any unusual names and wrote down everything he came back with. When the little man returned, she began, "Is it Casper? No, that's not my name. Is it Melchior? No, that's not my name. Is it Balthazar? No, that's not my name." She went on through all the names, and when the messenger brought them back, and each time the little man said, "No, that's not my name." The second day she sent the messenger out into the country. There must be some strange names out there, she thought, and there were. When the little man came back, she tried them out. "Is it Pickleburster? No, that's not my name. Is it Hanky Dank? No, that's not my name. Is it Mustard Plaster?" He always answered, "No, that's not my name." She was getting desperate. On the third day, though, the messenger came back with a strange tale. "I haven't heard any more names of the sort I found yesterday, Your Majesty, but when I was near the top of the mountain, in the thickest part of the forest, I saw a little house. There was a fire burning in front of it, and a little man, you should have seen him, he looked absurd. He was dancing round in front of it, hopping on one leg and singing out, 'One more day and then she'll see, the royal child belongs to me. Water, earth and air and flame, Rumplestiltskin is my name.'" Well, you can imagine how pleased the Queen was to hear this. When the little man came in, he was rubbing his hands together and hopping with glee and saying, "Now, milady, what's my name? Eh? Is it Tom? No, that's not my name. Is it Rick? No, that's not my name. Is it, let me see, could it be Rumplestiltskin?" "The devil told you that! The devil told you that!" said the little man, and in his fury he stamped his right foot so hard that he drove it into the ground right up to his waist, and then he took hold of his left foot with both hands and he tore himself in two, and he was never seen again.